The Gresford Colliery disaster on 22nd of September 1934 was the second worst mining disaster that Wales has ever seen. An explosion in the Dennis shaft just after 2 a.m. and the subsequent fire killed 266 men and boys from Wrexham and the surrounding villages. Just 6 men managed to escape as they clambered to safety along tiny tunnels. It's a disaster that lives long in the memory for a number of reasons, not least the 800 children left without fathers and the 200 women who were left widowed. It's a vivid reminder of the mining history in the northeast of Wales, which stretched from the Point of Ayr down to Black Park in Chirk. Many of those caught in the blast had actually swapped shifts to go and watch Wrexham AFC play Tranmere Rovers that Saturday. It's the reason why the current kit has 266 on the shirt, with previous kits having 1934 on them. A community club remembers. But it's also remembered because this was a tragedy that could have been avoided. A public inquiry into the disaster found failures by the private mine owners and poor management contributed to the underground disaster. One of the rescue team who did their best to save those trapped underground is reputed to be the anonymous author of the Gresford disaster ballad, which is scathing in its attack on the pit's safety record. Soon the nation's sadness turned to public outcry as matters were made worse by the decision to permanently seal the damaged shaft, meaning that only 11 of those who died were recovered. The rest, they still lie 700 metres underground. The name Gresford would soon become a byword for the exploitation of the working men. The men who died were all docked a quarter of a day's pay because they died at 2 a.m, meaning they didn't complete their full shift. The widows didn't receive a single penny in compensation from the company. The disaster and the way private owners ran the industry helped pave the way for public ownership of mining in 1948. However, the owners of Gresford destroyed all safety records before they handed over the colliery to the National Coal Board. Shockingly, as a result of the inquiry, only petty charges were brought against the company, the mine manager, William Bonsall, and 8 other officials. In the end, they were convicted, but only for inadequate record keeping. They were fined a pathetic £140 with £350 costs. The lives to those 266 men were valued at barely £2 each. In the weeks after the public inquiry, despite the real risk of losing their livelihoods, a number of mine employees found the courage to come forward and spoke out about how they were regularly instructed to falsify records. The sacrifice of Welsh miners will never be forgotten, and on this day we remember the 266 men and boys with sorrow and with pride. Cofiwch Gresford.